Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. Look, people, please like and subscribe. Consider donating to the channel. But look, let's just jump right into it. It looks like Terence Crawford, his next fight is going to be a mandatory defense, and it looks like it's going to be Alexis Rocha. Now, Alexis Rocha does have a fight scheduled for January 28th. He's supposed to be fighting Anthony Young. And Anthony Young has 24 wins and 2 losses. Alexis Rocha has 21 wins, 1 loss. That 1 loss Alexis Rocha has was to the hands of Rashidi Ellis, who is now kind of fallen off the map after losing against Villa this past weekend, or the last weekend. So the thing is this now. Now, a lot of people don't know who Alexis Rocha is. So if I can give you an idea of what kind of fighter he is, first, I'm going to tell you the way I describe him, as I did a video on him maybe 4 months ago. If you remember Juan Manuel Marquez, right? The guy who knocked out Manny Pacquiao. Now, for the true diehard boxing fans, we all know who Juan Manuel Marquez is. We know his brother as well, right? But that is exactly who Alexis Rocha reminds me of. And when I watched him fight against Blair Cobb and how he dismantled Blair Cobb, I said, this guy is a problem. I couldn't believe it, because I saw when he fought Rashidi Ellis, and he was just basically chasing Rashidi Ellis around the ring. He had some good moments in that fight, but Rashidi Ellis was just moving and letting his hands go and just basically preoccupying Alexis Rocha to where Alexis Rocha couldn't do the type of damage necessary to pull off the victory. So fast forward to where we are now with Alexis Rocha, right? Because Alexis Rocha, he is at this moment, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 5 fights removed from Rashidi Ellis. So in those 5 fights, he went back into the lab. He made some changes. Alexis Rocha is a much better fighter. His ability to control the distance, counterpunch, he's a southpaw. That left hand comes out of nowhere. And he honestly fights like Juan Manuel Marquez, in my opinion. So people are going to sit here, for those who don't really follow boxing, right? They just know a couple of the big names. They're going to sit there and say, well, Terence Crawford, going into this guy's fight, he's being a duck. He doesn't want to fight Spence. He doesn't want to fight any big names. Crawford is cherry picking. I'm going to tell y'all, let's try to be fair to Bud Crawford. He doesn't have a choice, all right? It's just like Earl Spence is getting stuck with all those mandatories. But, fortunately for the fight fans, the mandatories that's getting put on Spence are well-known names, all right? We know about Stan Unis. We know about Virgil Ortiz. We know about Boots Ennis. We know about Keith Thurman. Not many people know who the hell Alexis Rocha is. So for Terence Crawford, that's what it looks like it's going to be. So you look at the top left corner when it says it has the welterweights, right? This is how the WBO kind of has the racking stack. I just did a video on this, so I just cropped it to only show you like the top 6 names. Just to be fair to Terence Crawford, because I know people are gonna, come and want to shoot him in the foot. Virgil Ortiz, he's an international WBO welterweight champion. Now, don't ask me what international means. I have no idea what that means. Virgil Ortiz wasn't the international WBO champion up until this came out today or whenever it came out. But it had to come out within the last couple of days because, I stay on top of this. So my thing is, Virgil Ortiz really wasn't on Crawford's radar because Virgil Ortiz was tied up over there with Stan Unis for the WBA crown. But now Stan Unis is sidelined. Who knows how long, right? But I'm thinking with having his appendix, whatever issue with that, Virgil Ortiz may not be back until maybe after June. Just being honest, we're talking about people and bodies, and everybody heals differently. So I just don't think Virgil Ortiz, Stan Unis, that's the one who had the appendicitis, right? I don't think he's going to be back until maybe after June. So Stan Unis is out of there, but you can't expect Virgil Ortiz to be sidelined. De La Hoya is not going to want that. So don't be surprised if some conversations take place Because if Bud is really all about fighting the best, this is an opportunity right now for him to say, let's make the Ortiz fight. This is the opportunity. Because Ortiz has nothing going on. He's in a holding pattern. Could be for the next 4 or 5 months. Why not make the fight with Crawford? But then again, like I said in the recent video, don't know all the rules, don't know the logistics behind that, and De La Hoya winning the purse bid. We're just not sure how that works. But Alexis Rocha, he's about to come out here and fight this guy, Anthony Young. 24 wins and 2 losses, right? They're fighting for the WBO, NABO welterweight champion. Now, this is the thing. Alexis Rocha beating Anthony Young, that's no guarantee. And Alexis Rocha is another one of those, I believe he's with Golden Boy as well, right? That's no guarantee that he's going to win that fight. But if he gets past him, you would think that that's the fight to be made for Crawford. But let's understand this. Alexis Rocha can lose that fight. Okay? Now, if Alexis Rocha loses, because he's the number 3 right now. You got Keith Thurman above him, but we know Keith Thurman is fighting Spence, so Keith Thurman doesn't even count. He's not even part of this equation. But if Alexis Rocha loses here on January 28th to Anthony Young, who's next available? Number 4, Cody Crowley. Cody Crowley's busy. He's fighting in February for the WBC mandatory position. Then you got Giovanni Santillan, who, to be honest with you, I don't know much about him. Then you got Blair Cobb. Terence Crawford is in a position, lose position. Out of all these fighters, outside of Ortiz and Thurman, right? Alexis Rocha, Cody Crowley, 2 really good fighters. But Blair Cobb is a good fighter. No one likes him. I like Blair Cobb. But what I'm saying is for Terence Crawford, he's not going to have a choice. He's going to have to fight one of these guys. So just look at these names that we have here. It should be Alexis Rocha, but he's got to get through this guy, Anthony Young. If so, I have no doubt they're going to press Crawford to make a deal with Golden Boy and Alexis Rocha. And Golden Boy is going to jump all over that because that's what De La Hoya wants. Fight fans are going to be unhappy. You look at Alexis Rocha, man. He stands about 5'9". Okay? He's ranked number 6 out of 397, man. By the with the boxing rankings. This man started fighting in 2016. He has a 60% KO ratio. You understand? They say he's 5'10". He's really about 5'9", 5'9.5", but they just rounded up to 5'10". 70-inch reach. Crawford's reach is a little bit longer, 74 inches. Crawford is shorter. Crawford is 35. This young man's 25, so he has age on the side. But I don't think that's really going to matter getting in there with Terence Crawford. So Terence Crawford could be in another one of those fights where people don't want to give him the credit he deserves. But what I'm telling you is Alexis Rocha can fight. I'm not saying he beats Crawford, but what I'm telling you is this is not a cherry pick. But again, no decisions have been made. But this is the direction it's going as far as Crawford and the mandatory. That's all I'm saying. So we'll see what ends up happening. I'm not going to talk about Earl Spence, Keith Thurman. I'm not going to talk about any of that because I think I've talked enough about it. But what I will say is what we're seeing happening, people, this is the year, 2023, where we're going to see a turnover. The Earl Spences, the Terence Crawfords, the Keith Thurmans. Sean Porter's already out of here. Danny Garcia's just kind of hanging around at 154, getting as much money as he can because he got all his real estate investments going on. He just bought this huge building to have a club and everything put together. So Danny Garcia is going to keep milking that cow for as long as he can to make them big money. So Danny Garcia is not looking to be in any high threat fights. He just wants to fight, make his money once, twice a year. That's it. That's all he's doing. Remember, Danny Garcia and his dad are the ones that came out. Danny Garcia was the original cherry picker, where his dad was like, it doesn't make sense to put these guys against each other where someone can lose. Let them keep fighting, making as much money as possible. And then, when the time is right. But Danny Garcia's dad and Danny Garcia had no intentions on fighting hard fights. When he got in there and finally got tested, he lost. Doesn't mean he's not a good fighter, but that's when he lost. So, and after that, you start seeing him and his career just kind of, slowly just kind of deteriorate a bit. All right, so let's just say Danny Garcia's out of there. I mean, next up are these guys here. You know, Alexis Rocha, Stanley Eunice, you know, even Virgil Ortiz, you know, Jerron Ennis, even, you know, Blair Cobb, if you can get it together. You know, the Karen Chikadzian we just saw. You know, it's even Rashidi Ellis, he can get it together and bounce back. But what you're seeing is a transition. You're seeing a turnover. All I'm saying is Terence Crawford's not a duck if he has to fight this guy, and this guy's not a cherry. So that being said, y'all keep cool. If you don't know who Alexis Rocha is, go out there on YouTube and watch his highlights. He can fight. And I'm not just saying that. No, he can really fight. Don't think he beats Crawford, but he's not just going to go in there and roll over. I'll tell you that. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm in the breeze.